Hey there, Coach Brian Klepacki, strength coach, and this is the gym routine C build portion of Unlock Your Glutes. We're going to start off with the restorative lengthening exercise, which is the Spider-Man. Let's get to the floor. You're going to start out in a hand position right on the shoulders. One leg is as far forward as possible. Now, as you can see, Amanda's in that position here. She's going to hold this for 3 to 5 seconds before switching to the other side. You're going to complete 5 reps per side, taking your time. Again, this is your first exercise, so consider this as a warm-up. 3 to 5 seconds per side, switch sides again. Now notice as she's holding this position, she's trying to sink those hips down, really opening up not only the hip flexors, but also the inner thighs and as well as the glutes. It's perfect. 3 to 5 seconds per hold, 5 repetitions each side. That's perfect. Now, if you do have some tightness in your inner thighs and also your glutes and your hips, you might not be able to get your feet as far up as Amanda has here. That's okay, just go as far as you can. And eventually you're going to start increasing your flexibility and your muscles will start loosening up naturally. And you'll find yourself getting deeper into the stretch as you progress. Good. Okay, let's do one more rep on each side. That's perfect. Good. Last rep. Right after this exercise, you're going to drop down to the floor, drop those knees down. Now we're going to get ready for a front plank march. This is the first exercise of the neuromuscular activation sequence. So you're going to get up in a traditional plank position, and you're going to start marching your feet for 30 seconds at a rapid pace, really trying to squeeze the glutes every step, every march you take. Try to rapidly move those feet. Great. It's awesome. And rest. Good. Now we're going to go into the prone glute squeeze. So go ahead, lay down on your stomach. Get comfortable. Now what you're going to do is you're going to squeeze the glutes. You're going to hold this for 10-second reps. You're going to do 10 reps in total, squeezing as hard as you can. This is going to be challenging because it is lengthier in the process, but each repetition you want to make sure you're squeezing that glute as hard as you possibly can for that 10 seconds. In between each repetition, you could take a couple seconds, up to 5 seconds of rest, because over time, the more repetitions you do, the quicker you're going to fatigue. And right when you think that your legs are up high enough or your glutes are squeezed as hard as they can, mentally think, I need to squeeze my glutes harder. I need to lift my legs up higher. Because over time, like I said, you will start fatiguing and you're going to start thinking that your legs are up and your glutes are squeezed, but really they're not. Good. 5 more. Now with the neuromuscular activation, like I said a moment ago, these exercises take longer. A lot of people just skip right over it, not knowing the impact that this will have on your workout. If you skip over this, you're not priming your muscles appropriately, getting them ready for the movement ahead. This is one of the main things that I recommend as a strength coach, and I've dealt with clients and athletes. They tend to skip over these types of activities just because they're boring, they're slow, and they're actually somewhat challenging. So let's get 2 more. So I recommend you really focus in on taking time to do these activation exercises. Please don't skip over them. Last rep. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. There we go, almost there. Awesome. All right, that takes care of the first 3 exercises of this build portion. Let's get set for the next exercise, the next round, which we're going to start off with a weighted hip thrust. So now we're going to start the strength and power development sequence with the weighted hip thrust. So as you can see, Amanda has the bar set. She's on the bench. So we're now going to get into position. So she's going to get onto the floor, getting her legs underneath the bar. This takes a little bit of time to get into position, but you want to make sure you do this exercise properly to maximize the results. So the bar is placed right on or right in the crease of her thighs and her stomach. Her elbows are on the bench to help stabilize. Her shoulder blades are in contact with the bench. From this position, you want to look at the feet, make sure they're pointed straight ahead. And again, if you have any, if you feel like this is uncomfortable with your foot placement, please adjust your feet to your comfort level. Just because everybody's designed a little differently, some people prefer a little wider, some people prefer a little closer together. Either way, wherever your feet are, it's still going to get the most glute activation out of this exercise. So she's looking good here. Next, she's going to put the hands on the bar, and she's going to brace the bar with her hands. From this position, she's going to lift her hips up off the floor, keeping the chin tucked in, looking at the bar, squeezing the glutes, and back down. For this one, you're going to do this pretty rapidly. So 1 second up, 1 second down. 6 to 8 reps, all the way up, drive. Good. Get the tailbone up as high as you can. On the 8th rep, you're going to hold it for 10 seconds. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. This is the move that you need to get perfectly. Keep squeezing, keep going, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Nice. Good job. That was a perfect execution of the weighted hip thrust. Again, this is the exercise that you need to do that's going to get your booty, your butt as built and strong as possible. And the best part about this, there's no pain, there's no stress on the knees or the lower back. This has actually been shown to be even safer and more effective than a squat or deadlift. If you do this exercise just as Amanda did it, again, your results and your gains are going to be through the roof. So this is the exercise you need to really hone in on and pay attention to. So let's move on from this exercise and go to the single leg standing cable kickback. So here we are at the cables. We're doing a standing single leg cable kickback. So what you need to do is lower the cable arm down to the bottom position. For this exercise, it's best to use an ankle strap. These can be found in most gyms. All you need to do is put it on the ankle, strap it in, lock it in place, and choose a weight that's appropriate. For this exercise, you're going to be facing the machine. So what Amanda's going to be doing here is she's got this other arm out, holding on. This is going to help maintain balance. As you can see, she's extending one leg back. Take a look at the foot that's moving. You want to have the foot pointed out slightly. This will get the most of that top shelf portion of the glute. 6 to 8 repetitions, pretty rapid, and then now she's holding that 10-second hold for that final rep. Awesome. Good. Take your time unbuckling, unstrapping it, moving it to the other leg. And the same thing will apply, 6 to 8 repetitions, following up with that 10-second isometric hold for that final rep. Get in position, slight forward lean, slight bend in the down leg, kicking that leg back, turning that foot out slightly, a 1 second out, a 1 second in. Pretty quick movement. Perfect. Don't forget that hold. Good. Now for this one, make sure you don't lean too far forward. Let the leg do all the work. Nice, good job. That's that exercise. If you found that resistance to be too light, simply just add a little bit of resistance the next time you do this exercise. So we just finished the cable kickback. Let's get into the Bulgarian split squat with dumbbells. So get yourself a set of dumbbells. Hold one in each hand and position yourself perpendicular with the bench. One leg is back behind you. Adjust your feet so you're comfortable. Think of this as a vertical movement, up and down. This one you're going to go a little slower than the last two exercises. We're going to the 3-1-2-0 tempo. So it's 3 seconds down, 1 second at the bottom, 2 seconds up, 0 seconds at the top. 6 to 8 repetitions per side. And again, nice vertical movement, shoulder blades pulled back, dropping straight down, standing straight back up. Good, let's get 2 more. Good, last one. Great. And if you can, just get right into the other side. If you need to rest a little bit, that's fine. But make sure you keep the same resistance in your hands. Don't change anything up until another set if you're going to do more than one set. Perfect. Again, following the same tempo, 3, 1, 2, 0. That's perfect. Now, don't be alarmed if one side is more challenging than the other. Just work through it. Sometimes there's a muscular imbalance or a known injury, an underlying issue that might be present. Just work through it and try to do the best you can. Good. Good. Last one. Awesome. Now you definitely want to rest 45 seconds before we start the next exercise, which is a single leg Romanian deadlift. This begins the hypertrophy growth series of the build phase. So what Amanda's going to do now is still holding on to the dumbbells. She's going to be balancing on one leg. She's going to be leaning forward, and as she goes forward, she's going to lower the weights down to the floor. Back leg swings up. This is going to help counterbalance. She's going to do this exercise 9 to 12 repetitions per side. And if you fall, if you slip up a little bit, that's totally acceptable. Just do your best to stabilize and take your time. This is one of those exercises that you really have to focus in on and pay attention to, because if you go too fast or you're not focused enough, you will fall side to side. That's perfect. Looking really good. Now notice her right leg is slightly bent, and that's exactly what you want to do. Awesome. Other side. Good. Again, you might find one side more challenging than the other, and that's okay. That's the beautiful thing about doing unilateral training, is that you really go towards all the isolation coming from one side. Good. 4, good. And notice also her shoulder blades are pulled back, and she's really trying to make sure all the movement is coming from the hips. 6, good. Now, if you do this correctly, you might feel a little bit in the hamstrings, but you should feel it on the upper part of the outside of the glute. Yeah, one more. Perfect. So let's rest 30 seconds before moving on to the next exercise, which is the single leg half squat with the dumbbells. So this exercise here, we're just going to start in a moment, is still 9 to 12 repetitions per side, holding dumbbells by your leg. You're going to be balancing on one foot. You're going to be going down to a half squat position right there, and stand back up. That's it. Very simple, very small movement. If you want to make it a little more challenging, you can get a foot out in front of you, which is definitely more advanced. But what we're doing right here, this is the easier version, and it's a little more, it's a safer exercise if you're new to this. That's perfect. Again, only going down a halfway. 9 to 12 repetitions. We should be halfway through. 6 more. Perfect. And again, you can even see her feet are fighting to stay balanced, which is exactly what should be expected of this. So don't be alarmed if your feet start cramping or they start getting, some lower leg numbness, or, there we go. It's your whole body, your whole right side is fighting to stay balanced. Nice. Good. All right, a couple seconds. Let's get set for the other side. Same thing applies. 9 to 12 repetitions on the other leg. Half squat. Good. It's perfect. Good. 5. Awesome. Doing great. 6. Halfway there. That's perfect. Again, it's a very challenging exercise, especially once you start getting towards the latter part of this set. But that's really when you're going to start seeing growth, true muscle growth, is when you get into that damaging the damaging territory of muscular tension, muscular damage, things like that. That's perfect. All right, so now we're going to take another 30-second breather, and then we're going to go back to the floor for some weighted single leg glute bridges. So now we're going to go into the last two exercises of the hypertrophy growth sequence of the build routine. So what you're going to be doing now is a weighted single leg glute bridge. So get a little heavier dumbbell than what you previously used. Position the dumbbell on your stomach. This might be a little uncomfortable, which is to be expected. So you're going to get in a glute bridge position, feet about hip width apart, knees slightly bent. Your head and shoulders are flat, and now what you're going to be doing is lifting one leg up. You're going to be lifting the hips up 3 seconds up, 1 second at the top, 2 seconds down, 0 seconds at the bottom. Really lifting as high as you can, trying to stabilize that dumbbell just so it doesn't move around too much. All the weight should be right on the midsection. And if you need to adjust your feet or the weight, pause, reset, and continue on your set there. So 9 to 12 repetitions. Again, 3 seconds up, 1 second hold, 2 seconds in the lowering portion with a 0 second rest at the bottom. This is one of those kind of challenging and awkward exercises at the same time, but just do your best. And if you find that this is just extremely challenging, you can choose a lighter weight and just try to make the best of it. Don't forget the iso hold at the end. This rep, or 2 more reps, and then you're going to be doing the 10-second iso hold at the top. That's really where you start getting the muscular damage. All right, hold that, 10 seconds, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Get those hips up. Don't let those hips drop. Come on, you got this. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Awesome. It's a very challenging exercise, especially that last 10-second hold. Now we're going to get ready for the other side. Same exact movement, same exact numbers, 3 seconds up, 1 second at the top, 2 seconds on the way down. 9 to 12 repetitions of this. Slow and steady on this one. Don't forget to breathe. And again, if we're looking to get the most growth out of our glutes, you have to follow the 3-1-2-0 principle of the tempo. Again, that's really where you start getting the most gains out of this exercise. Now, if you're going to be doing multiple sets of this, and you found that this particular movement was extremely challenging, choose a lighter weight next set and still complete the same repetitions. Okay, let's do 2 more reps. Good, there's 11. Last one. Don't forget that 10-second squeeze at the top. There we go. 5 seconds, keep squeezing, looking good. 3, 2, 1. Awesome, great job, Amanda. So now we're gonna go into the side kneeling plank with hip abduction. This is the last exercise of this routine. And as you can see, she's already in the position here. She's gonna be going through this exercise, 9 to 12 repetitions, abducting the leg, which means just bringing the leg away from the body, away from midline. Nice, still following 3-1-2-0 count, 9 to 12 repetitions per side. You're also going to get a little bit of core work in there as well, just because you're stabilizing the hips. Now don't think for a second that lower leg is not doing any work. It actually does a lot of work because that bottom leg is holding all of her lower body weight up. So when she goes to the other side, she's going to feel a little bit more fatigue on that side. So if you need a rest in between each side, that's okay. Looking good. We have 2 more reps. Good, looking really good. Okay, the last one, we have to hold it. 10-second hold. This one is the challenge. If you can make it through this one, you can make it through everything. There we go. That's okay. Got to fight through it. Fight through it. 2, 1. Yeah. That's a tough exercise. Don't think that these exercises, just because it's a body weight movement, it's challenging. So let's get to the other side. If you need a couple extra seconds, that's okay. Take as much rest as you need. Try to stay within the parameters to maximize your results. And let's get to it. After this, you're either going to repeat the circuit again for a second or third round or conclude after this. Looking good. Keeping those hips elevated. And again, do your best to complete the reps, but I understand that sometimes we just physically can't complete the reps. If that takes place, rest a couple seconds, and then pick back up where you left off. Again, this whole routine is really focusing on building the glutes. And the glutes, I mean, they're gonna get exhausted. They're gonna get tired, especially towards the latter part of the workout. 9, we got 3 more, Amanda. We can do this. You can get it done. All right, here we go. All right, let's hold it. You got it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, there we go. All right, she's done. That's a challenging exercise in itself right there. So if you're gonna repeat this entire round, 2 to 3 rounds, make sure you still rest before you're starting everything over. If not, congratulations, you completed the gym routine C portion, which is the build phase.